Looks like we're live. So for the public, welcome to the meeting of the Capital Subcommittee on the Appropriations Committee. We're joined by Chair McIntosh, Vice Chair Chang, and the entire subcommittee. We have a decision document the members have in front of them. The public can find it on the website. With that, I will turn it over to Ms. Haskell, who I think is going to walk us through the decision document.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We're going to go through the decision document in page order, and the analysts will present their items. So Grace, you may begin.
Thanks. Starting on page 1 in the Department of Disabilities, DLS recommends approving the $1.8 million authorization for accessibility modifications. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Okay, all in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
Okay, on page 2 in the Maryland Stadium Authority, there's a color page to add roughly $73 million to begin the design and construction of a new Department of Legislative Services building in the Annapolis complex.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the color page.
Second.
Motions to adopt, all in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
Moving to the Department of Aging on page 3, DLS recommends adopting narrative requesting an update on the Senior Center Capital Grants Program Administration and Outreach. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second.
Motions to adopt, all in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
On page 4, DLS recommends approving the authorization for $1.1 million for the Senior Center Capital Grants Program. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second.
All in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
On page 5, we have the Maryland Historic St. Mary's City Commission. The first item here is the Maryland Heritage Interpretive Center for $4.79 million. The agency concurred with this.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second.
Motion is to adopt, all in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
The next item we have here is also on the same page is to pre-authorize for fiscal 2023, $10.85 million for the same project, Maryland Heritage Interpretive Center.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second.
Motion is to adopt, all in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes.
Board of Public Works is on page 6. The first item is a narrative about getting a report on the renovation of the Guilford Avenue property. Agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to
adopt.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed no, the ayes have it.
Second item on that page is a $2.5 million appropriation to the Construction Contingency Fund. DLS recommends approving it. Agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second.
All in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
On page 7, item number 3 is $3.3 million for the Facility Renewal Fund. DLS recommended approval. Agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that the governor restores with general funds.
Second.
Okay, I'm going to restore this with general funds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed no, the ayes have it.
The fourth project here is the fuel storage tank replacement program. That's $1 million is proposed. DLS recommends approval. Agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second. Motion is to adopt. All in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
And the fifth project here is the State House exterior grounds and restoration. That's $2.8 million. DLS recommends approval. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second. Is to adopt. All in favor say aye. Opposed,
Aye.
ayes have it.
Item number 6 is the Washington County District Court Edition for $5.3 million. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that the governor restores with general funds.
All right, once again, we're going to fund this project with general funds. The motion is on the table. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed no, the ayes have it.
On the next page, page 8, the item 7 here is the new Court of Appeals building for $2.8 million. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second. Motion is to adopt. All in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
The eighth project here is $275,000 that would be deauthorized for the Senate chamber reconstruction. DLS recommends approving this. Agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second. All right, hope the Senate takes notice. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 9 in the Maryland Military Department, the first project is to approve $5 million for the Havre de Grace Combined Support Maintenance Shop and Automotive and Surface Equipment Facility. Agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 10 is the Department of Planning. The first action there is the Maryland Archaeological Conservation Laboratory Project. DLS recommends reducing the funding by $2 million, based on the fact that there's going to be a pre-authorization for funding to be pushed out to the next year. The agency concurred in the first house.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Recommendations 2 and 3 to concur with the African American Heritage Preservation Grant Program and the Maryland Historical Trust Capital Grant Fund authorizations.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Moving to adopt 2 and 3. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Page 11, recommendation 4 is that pre-authorization of funding for the Maryland Archaeological Conservation Laboratory in order to fully fund that project.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Motion is to adopt. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Okay, yes, on page 12 is the Office of Information Technology and DoIT. There are 2 projects here. They relate to the first responder radio system. There's $5.3 million in the current year and $2.7 million to be pre-authorized for this project. DLS recommends approval. Agency recommends to concur on both of these.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second.
Moving to adopt 1 and 2. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 13, the first item we have here in the Department of Transportation is the Howard Street Tunnel Project for $21.5 million. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding at intent the governor restores with general funds.
Second.
If there's a motion to restore this funding with PAYGO general funds, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 2 is for the Washington Metropolitan Transit Authority grants. It's $125 million in bond premiums. DLS recommended concurring.
Move to adopt. Sorry, Mr. Vice Chair.
Second.
All right, we're keeping the WMATA funding. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, moving now to page 14 is the Department of Natural Resources. First recommendation there is to concur with the Community Parks and Playgrounds Program authorization.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
All right, moving forward, there are going to be a couple actions here where DLS has recommended concurring with the agency's budget. The House is going to have potential color pages in front of it because the governor has removed the contingent reduction for special funds in the operating budget. So what that means is that projects that previously were only going to receive GO bond funding now have transfer tax funding available to them in order to supplant the GO bonds, and therefore they're no longer needed. So for recommendation number 2, DLS recommended concurring with the Natural Resources Development Fund. However, there's a color page item here to reduce the funding to leave $750,000 for the Albert Powell Fish Hatchery project.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Now to page 16, recommendation number 3 concerns program open space. DLS originally had recommended a $34 million reduction. Then there was the subsequent removal of the contingent reduction that allowed for special funds to replace this money. Therefore, there's a color page item reflecting a different rationalization or explanation for that particular reduction. And that's the color page item for the House.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
On page 17 for the Rural Legacy Program, similar situation where there's DLS recommended concurring, but now, once again, the removal of the contingent reduction allows for that money to be reduced for the Rural Legacy Program, $17 million reduction.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
The bottom of page 17 is a new color page item for the House's consideration. This is to create a local parks and playgrounds infrastructure program and provide funding to a number of, well, to basically all the jurisdictions in Maryland.
Let me pause here. I know that the subcommittee has worked hard on this item. This create $85 million for our parks across the state and open space. And given the federal money that's flowing through, the subcommittee is just making this a priority, that these things be shovel ready, that we get people back to work. And we do it in a way that what we've seen through the pandemic is the importance of open space. We've seen our parks, our state parks, having record attendance. And so this is an acknowledgement of that by this subcommittee, and I think a great program. So with that, Mr. Vice Chair.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for your leadership, and to the Capital Budget Subcommittee, and also Madam Chairwoman McIntosh for the leadership on the funding to our local parks. Move to adopt the color page.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Moving now to
Oh.
page 20.
The ayes have it.
Page 20 is the recommendation number 5 for the Coastal Resiliency Program to adopt the $2,770,000 GEO bond authorization for that program.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Similarly, for recommendation number 6, Oyster Restoration Program, DLS recommends concurring with the governor's authorization.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Recommendation number 7 is to concur with pre-authorization of funding that would provide for shooting range improvements projects in fiscal 23.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Motion is to adopt. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Page 21 is Department of Agriculture. First recommendation there, similarly to the ones you've been considering for the Department of Natural Resources, at $31 million. Originally, DLS recommended concurring, but once again, removal of the contingent reduction allows, and the operating budget allows for a $31 million reduction for the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Program.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Bottom of page 21 is a recommendation to concur with the Maryland Agricultural Cost Share Program of $5 million.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 22, we have the Health Department's capital program. The first 2 items are grant programs. DLS concurred with both of these, as did the Department of Health.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Items 3, 4, and 5, which continue on to the next page, all pertain to the Clifton C. Perkins Hospital renovation. One is current funding, and the other 2 amendments to prior authorizations. DLS and the Department of Health concurred with all of these.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt all 3 items.
Second.
Just to adopt 3, 4, and 5. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 24, the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services, there's one pre-authorization and one authorization and 2 pre-authorizations for the Jessup Region Electrical Infrastructure Upgrade, $3.7 million in authorizations and $6.3 million in pre-authorizations. And for the ECI High Temperature Distribution Project, there's $11.8 million in pre-authorizations.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt all 3 items within the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services.
Just to adopt 1, 2, and 3 on page 24. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 25, this is the Maryland State Department of Education. The first item is approved of governor's $6.1 million general obligation bond fund for aging schools. The agency is concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Motion is to adopt. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 2 is on page 25 and 26. This is action reducing the general fund allowance for non-public school security improvements program and adds language on eligibility. The agency concurred with the program cut, but did not concur with the move to the Maryland Center for School Safety.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
The motion is to adopt. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. You guys have it.
On page 26, item number 3 is to approve the governor's 185 million general obligation for the public school construction program the agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to add 35 million for a total of $220 million for this project.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the aye.
Item number 4 on page 26, this is for the public school safety grant program. It's 10 million in GO bonds. The action is to move the program to the Maryland Center for School Safety and reduce the GO bond allowance. The agency concurred in part, disagreeing with the program cut, but agreeing with the program cut, but not to the move to the Maryland Center for School Safety.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation, delete funding, add intent that the governor restores in general funds.
Okay, so we're going to pay go this one as well. The motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
On page 27, number 5, this is for the Senator James E. Ed DeGrange non-public agent school program. This item goes on to page 29, and this action restores language from the fiscal 2021 capital bill and adds language in regard to participation by schools in the non-public placement program the agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the Senator James E. Ed DeGrange non-public aging schools program.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
On page 29, this is item number 6 for the supplemental capital grant program. DLS recommended concurring with the governor's GO for $40 million as a color page item on page 29, goes on to page 30. This language provides an additional $20 million in fiscal 22 and 82 grants.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation.
I'm going to reject and adopt the color page with another 20 million in. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
Moving on to page 31, at the top, this is an additional color page item for the Healthy School Facilities Fund, adding $30 million to this fund for to meet Chapter 20 of 2020 Built to Learn Act, and 50% is allocated to Baltimore City.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the color page for the Healthy School Facility Fund.
Second.
All right, this is important, I know, particularly to our chair. This program did not get funded, so we're going to get this money back into this program that was a priority of the legislature. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
Last item on page 31, number 7, this is just the approval of $65 million in bond premium funds for the public school construction program. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt this program.
Okay, the motion is to adopt. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
Page number 32 is the Maryland State Library Agency. The recommendation is to approve the $5 million for the public library capital grant program.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
Okay, on page 33 for University of Maryland, Baltimore, the first item is to approve $11.3 million for electrical substation.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that the governor restores with general funds.
In a general fund the program. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
Okay, I have a color page item to add $2.5 million for the school of social work renovation.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt a color page with regards to school social work addition and renovation.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
The next item is to approve a pre-authorization for the electrical substation.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt this important project at UMBC. I'm sorry, University of Maryland, Baltimore campus.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
On page 34 and 35, I have 2 more color page items that are pre-authorizations for the School of Social Work in 23 and 24.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the color page.
And the pre-auths, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
On page 36 for the University of Maryland College Park, the first is to approve $5 million for the campus-wide system and infrastructure improvement.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no, the ayes have it.
The second recommendation is to approve $45.2 million for the chemistry building wing 1 replacement.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that the governor restores with general funding for the chemistry building wing replacement.
All right, we're going to fund this with general funds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, the ayes have it.
The bottom of the page, I have a color page item that would add $2.5 million for the School of Public Policy.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the color page regarding the School of Public Policy.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 37, I have another color page item to add $4 million to begin the design of the engineering building.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the color page.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
The third item on the page is to approve a pre-authorization and 23 for the chemistry building.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
In favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 38, I have a color page item adding a pre-authorization for the engineering building.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the color page.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
The next one is to approve a pre-authorization for the chemistry wing building.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Okay, on page 39, I have two color page items to add pre-authorizations for the engineering building in 24 and 25.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the color page for the item.
Okay, all in favor, say aye, and opposed, no. The ayes have it.
And on page 40 for Bowie State University, item number 1 is $3.6 million for the Communication Arts and Humanities Building. And items 2, 3, and 4 are also pre-authorizations for the same project. DLS recommended approving these and the agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, with regards to the Bowie State University projects, move to adopt all 4 items.
Motion is to adopt all 4 items on page 40. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
And on page 41 for Towson University, the first recommendation is to approve $50.7 million for the College of Health Professions building.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that the governor restores with general funds for this project.
We're going to fund this with general funds. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
The next 2 items on the page are pre-authorizations for the health professions buildings in 23 and 24.
Mr. Chairman, for the pre-authorizations for Towson University, move to adopt these items.
Motion is to adopt 2 and 3. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 42 for the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, the recommendation is to approve the $18.7 million for the School of Pharmacy.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that the governor restores with general funds.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Page 43 for Frostburg State University, the DLS recommendation was to approve the $46.6 million for the Education and Health Sciences Center. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that governor restores with general funds.
General fund the program. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 44 for Coppin State University, DLS recommended approving $32.9 million for the Percy Julian Science Building. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that the governor restore general funds.
Restore it with general funds. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Page 45 for the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. The first is a recommendation to approve $6.9 million for the utility upgrades and site improvement.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
In favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
The next is a color page item that adds $7 million for the Sherman Hall renovation.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the color page regarding Sherman Hall renovation at UMBC.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
I have 2 related color page items on the bottom of this page and the next to add pre-authorizations for Sherman Hall in 23 and 24.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the color pages on these 2 items.
All right. Adopting both color pages. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 47 for University System of Maryland Office, the first item is the DLS recommendation was to approve $4.8 million for the University of Maryland at Southern Maryland 3rd Academic Building. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
In favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 2 was the DLS recommendation was to approve the $25 million in revenue bonds for capital facilities renewal projects. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
In favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On the next page, page 48 for Baltimore City Community College, recommendation 1 is committee narrative requesting a report on the Bard Building site redevelopment.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Recommendation number 2 was to approve 1.25 million for the college's deferred maintenance program.
Mr. Chairman, move to add $2.75 million for this total of $4 million for this important project.
Okay, we're adding to this deferred maintenance program. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Recommendation 3 is to for a deauthorization for the Baltimore City Community College main building renovation project. Color page item modifies this recommendation to strike the deauthorization.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page with regard to Baltimore City Community College.
All right, keep the funding for the reject DLS and adopt the color page. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
And on page 51 for St. Mary's College, item number 1, the DLS recommendation was to approve $20 million for the academic building and auditorium. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding and add intent that the governor restores with.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 2 was the DLS recommendation was to approve $1.5 million for campus infrastructure improvements. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 3 was to approve an amendment for prior authorization. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
The next page, which would be page 52 for the Maryland School for the Deaf. Recommendation number 1 is to approve $4.275 million for the emergency notification system.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Recommendation number 2 is to approve $5.014 million for the Veddit's building renovation project.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Recommendation number 3 is to a deauthorization for the water main replacement project.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
And item number 4 is a pre-authorization for the Veddit's building renovation project.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Moving to the Maryland Higher Education Commission on page 53, recommendation number 1 was to approve $55.88 million for the community college construction grant program.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that the governor restores with general funds.
And general fund the community college program. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Recommendation number 2 is to approve the $3.794 million for the community college facilities renewal grant program.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Items number 3 and 4 on this page are pre-authorizations for fiscal 23 and 24 for the community college construction grant program.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt both pre-authorization items.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 5 on page 54 is to approve the $20 million in bond premium funding for the community college construction grant program. This is modified by the color page item listed below, which restricts funding for the Leggett Math and Science Building project at Montgomery College.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page for the Montgomery College for the Catherine Isaiah Leggett Math and Science Building.
To be clear, this increases the funding from what it came in at about 1.5 million. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Moving to page 56 from Oregon State University. The first action was for the campus expansion phase 1 Lake Clifton High School demolition. The last recommendation was to approve the $932,000. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 2 is for $10 million for the deferred maintenance and site improvements program. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 3 is 33 million for the new Health and Human Services Building, Phase 2. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 4, DLS recommended approving 784,000 for the new Science Center, Phase 1. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Moving to page 57, recommended action number 5 moves to approve a deauthorization of $108,000 for a project that's been completed. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Items number 6 and 7 are pre-authorizations for the new Health and Human Services Building in fiscal 23 and 24. The agency concurred with both.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt both pre-authorization items over at the Morgan State University Health and Human Services Building.
Move to adopt both of these items. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 58 for the University of Maryland Medical System, this first project is an authorization for $12 million for the Comprehensive Cancer and Organ Transplant Treatment Center.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding and add intent that the governor restores with general funds.
General fund the program. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
The second project for is the R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center, Phase 3. That authorization for $2.5 million.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 59 begins the Department of Housing and Community Development. DLS recommended language requesting information on the use of non-budgeted funds, and the agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the language.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Also on page 59, on a related color page on page 60, DLS recommended approving funding for the Baltimore Regional Neighborhoods Initiative, and the agency concurred. But there's a color page item that would restrict funding, part of the funding for the Pennsylvania Avenue Black Arts and Entertainment District.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page regarding the Baltimore Regional Neighborhoods Initiative.
Okay, the motion is to reject and restrict port of this funding. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 3, DLS recommends approving funding for the Community Legacy Program, and the agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt this program for the Pennsylvania Avenue Black Arts and Entertainment District project.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On the bottom of page 60, and then on page 61, DLS recommends approving funding for the National Capital Strategic Economic Development Program, and there's a color page that would restrict funding in this program for a redevelopment project in Riverdale Park.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page regarding this fund.
The motion is to approve the funding but restrict part of it. Say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 5 on the bottom of page 61, DLS recommends approving funding for the Neighborhood Business Development Program, and the agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 62, DLS recommends approving funding for the SEED program, and the agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 7 is for the Strategic Demolition Program, and there's a related color page. DLS recommends approving funding. The color page adds $1 million to the program and then restricts funds for both the Perkins Somerset Old Town redevelopment project, as well as for the demolition of the former Allegheny High School.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page on the strategic demolition fund.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 8 on page 63, DLS recommends approving funding for homeownership programs, and the agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 9, DLS recommends approving funding for the Local Government Infrastructure Fund, and the agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding, add intent that the governor restore with federal or general funds.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 64, DLS recommends approving funding for the Partnership Rental Housing Program, and there's a color page that would increase funding by $4 million and restrict those funds for the Perkins Somerset Old Town project.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page of the $4 million increase.
In favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
There are a few similar items on page 64 and 65. DLS recommends approving funding for the rental housing programs, while a color page would add $5 million and restrict those funds to the Perkins Somerset Old Town project.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page.
Right. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On the bottom of page 65, DLS recommends approving funds for the Shelter and Transitional Housing Facilities Grant Program, and the agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 66, the last item for DHCD, DLS recommends approving funds for special loan programs, and the agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Page 67 is the Department of the Environment. First recommendation there was to concur with the Comprehensive Flood Management Program of $5,959,000. There's a color page item there that would add $9 million for 3 projects.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page for the projects.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Moving now to page 68. At the bottom of the page there, recommendation number 2 is to concur with the Maryland Drinking Water Revolving Loan Fund GEO bond authorization. Agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 69, recommendations there 3, 4, 5, and 6 are to concur with the authorizations for the governor's programs as noted.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt all 4 of these items.
Move to adopt 4, 5, and 6. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 70, recommendation number 7 is to concur with the deauthorization of funding for a prior year project. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Page 71 is the Maryland Environmental Service. DLS originally recommended concurring with the $16,752,000 GEO bond authorization for the Infrastructure Improvement Fund. However, as noted previously, when the contingent reduction and transfer tax special funds was removed by the governor, that freed up special funds for this particular purpose. Therefore, DLS now recommends a reduction of $8,871,000. There's a color page item for that.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation and adopt the color page.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Bottom of page 2 is a recommendation for approval of the pre-authorization of funding for fiscal 23 for projects.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Page 72, recommendation number 3 is for pre-approval for funding for fiscal 24. DLS recommends adopting. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 73, Department of Juvenile Services, the first project is the education expansion at the Baltimore City Juvenile Justice Center, $2.5 million. Agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 2, it provides $23.5 million for the new female detention center. Agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 3 provides a pre-authorization for the Baltimore City Juvenile Justice Center. Agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 4 on page 73 and item 5 on page 74 provide pre-authorizations in fiscal 23 and 24 for the new female detention center. Agency concurs with both items.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the pre-authorization items of both items 4 and 5 in the Department of Juvenile Services.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 75 for the Department of State Police, item number 1 provides $11.4 million for the new Berlin Barrack and Garage project. The agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to delete funding at intent that the governor restores with general funds.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 2 provides $177,000 for the new tactical operations building. The agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 3 adds an extension to a prior authorization for the new flight training facility. The agency concurs.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
And item number 4 provides a pre-authorization of $9.8 million for the Berlin Barrack and Garage in fiscal 2023.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
The Maryland Hospital Association's private grant program is on page 76 and 77. We have 9 items here. The first 8 are the current grants, and then 9 is an amendment to the prior authorization. All of these DLS concurred with, as well as the Hospital Association.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt all 9 items within the Maryland Hospital Association.
Motion is to adopt 1 through 9, Maryland Hospital Association. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
That brings you to page 79, and the first of 3 MICUA grant projects is item number 1 is DLS recommends approving $3.3 million for Johns Hopkins University. Agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to add $700,000 for a total of $4 million for the Johns Hopkins project.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, if I could direct you back to page 78, I think we skipped local jails.
We did, in fact.
On page 78, for local jails and detention centers, there's a $2.8 million authorization for the Frederick County Adult Detention Center Medical Edition and $1.9 million for St. Mary's County upgrades and medical units.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the Frederick County facility to the St. Mary's County facility.
Second. Move to adopt 1 and 2. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We're now at number 2 on page 79, I believe.
Yep, sorry for jumping the gun there. Item number 2 is the second MICUA project for Mount St. Mary's. DLS recommends approving $1.4 million for that project.
Mr. Chairman, move to add $2.6 million for a total of $4 million for the Mount St. Mary's University project.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item number 3 is DLS recommends approving $3.3 million for St. John's College. The agency concurred.
Mr. Chairman, move to add $700,000 for a total of $4 million for the St. John's College project.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
At the bottom of page 79, this begins the projects that were the governor's miscellaneous projects in the capital budget as introduced. So the first is a miscellaneous grant for the African American Museum and Cultural Center. DLS recommended deleting the $500,000 grant.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation.
Second.
In favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 80, items 5 through 9 fund the Bainbridge Naval Training Center site redevelopment, Bladensburg World War I Memorial, Brewer Hill Cemetery, Carroll County Public Safety Training Center, and the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum capital improvements.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt items number 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Motion is to adopt 5 through 9. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 81, item 10, that would be a grant for the City of Annapolis Stanton Community Center renovation project.
Mr. Chairman, for the Stanton Center Community Project, move to add $100,000 for a total of $500,000 for this project.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Items 11 through 18 would fund the City of Brunswick New Emergency Operations Center, Community Arts LLC, Cumberland Economic Development Corporation, Days End Farm Horse Rescue Projects, Delmarva Community Services, Frederick County Animal Control Edition, Frederick County New Green Valley Fire Station Water and Sewer Line Extension, and the Garrett College Community Education and Performing Arts Center.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt items 11 through 18.
11 through 18. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 19 on page 83, this would provide a grant for the Garrett County High School's athletic facilities renovations. DLS recommended deleting the funds for this project.
Mr. Chairman, for the gentleman from Garrett County, reject the DLS recommendation, add $500,000 for a total of $1 million for this project.
Second. In favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
At the bottom of page 83, items 20 and 21 would fund Hagerstown Revitalization and the Helping Up Mission Women's and Children's Center.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt item number 20 and 21.
In favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 22 would fund the Hippodrome Foundation at $500,000.
Mr. Chairman, motion to add $2.5 million for a total of $3 million for the Hippodrome Foundation project.
In In favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 23 authorizes funds for the historic Annapolis restoration project. And then item 24 funds the Keys development project.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt both the historic Annapolis and the Keys development project.
23 and 24, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Then we'll go, items 25 through 27, that would fund level 82 fund, Lexington Market, and Living Classrooms Opportunity Hub.
Chairman, move to adopt level 82 fund, Lexington Market, and Living Classroom projects.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
And then item 28 would fund the Maryland Center for History and Culture building renovations.
Mr. Chairman, for the Maryland Center for History and Culture building renovations, move to add $500,000 for a total of $1 million for this project.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 29, Maryland State Fair renovations. The DLS recommendation was to reduce this project by half, by $250,000.
Mr. Chairman, for our Maryland State Fair, move to reject the DLS recommendation.
Motion is to reject. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 30 at the bottom of page 85 would fund the Maryland Veterans Memorial Museum.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 86, item 31 would fund the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore infrastructure improvements.
Mr. Chairman, for our Maryland Zoo, motion to add $1 million for a total of $5.75 million for the Maryland Zoo.
In favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 32 would fund the MedStar Franklin Square Hospital new surgical tower.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
Okay, motion is to adopt. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 33, this is the Meriwether Post Pavilion renovation project.
Mr. Chairman, for the Meriwether Post Pavilion renovation project, motion to add $2.5 million for a total of $3 million for this project.
Tracks the pre-auth. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Items 34 through 37 would fund the National Aquarium in Baltimore, the National Cryptologic Museum, the Nexus Woodburn Family Healing Project, and then the North Bay Education Project.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt items number 34 through 37.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 38 at the bottom of page 87 would fund the Nourish Now New Warehouse Project. DLS recommended reducing this project by $90,000.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation.
Favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 88, item 39 would fund the Peel Center.
Mr. Chairman, for the Peel Center, motion to add $250,000 for a total of $400,000 for this project.
Favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Items 40 and 41 fund the Pearlstone Center project and the Pikesville Armory Foundation project.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the Pearlstone Center project and the Pikesville Armory Foundation project.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes.
Item 42 at the bottom of page 88, going on to page 89, is for the Sinai Hospital Baltimore project. DLS recommended reducing this grant by $1 million.
Mr. Chairman, for the Sinai Hospital project, move to reject the DLS recommendation.
Rejecting the cut. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 89, item 43 funds the St. Michael's Community Center renovation project.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Item 44 would fund the Velocity Company's Hampton Park Sustainable Parking Infrastructure. DLS recommended reducing or deleting the grant for this project.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
At the bottom of page 89, item 45 for the YMCA of Central Maryland. The grant is in at $565,000. DLS recommended approving that amount.
Mr. Chairman, move to add $435,000 for a total of $1 million for this project.
In favor, say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
On page 90, item 46, this project, it would be for the town of Emmitsburg Water Treatment Plant water clarifier. DLS recommended reducing this by $200,000.
Mr. Chairman, move to reject the DLS recommendation.
Favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
And then items 47 through 51 would fund the Vehicles for Change project, and then 4 YMCA projects in different regions of the state.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt items number 47 to 51.
47 to 51, all in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
So that is the end of the governor's miscellaneous projects that were in the capital budget as introduced, beginning at the bottom of page 91 and continuing to page 126. There are a variety of other miscellaneous grants for your consideration. Most of them would be funded in fiscal 22, but also there are also a couple of pre-authorizations scattered throughout those. I think there are 2. And so for the interest of time, you might want to consider those as one group.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt all color pages adding miscellaneous grants.
Adopt all the color pages at once. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed no, the ayes have it.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, that takes you to page 126. There's a color page that would add a placeholder of $20 million for the Senate to select their legislative bond initiatives.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt.
All right, all in favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
On page 127, items 51, 52, 53, 54, and 55 all would strike the governor's proposed deauthorization of 5 local House and Senate initiatives and would remove the matching fund requirement to restore those funds.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt number 51 through 55.
In favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
On page 131, there's a technical amendment, same with 132. DLS recommends approval to both these technical amendments to prior
Mr. Chairman,
premiums.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt both technical amendments.
In favor say aye, opposed no, the ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the capital budget as amended.
Second.
There's a motion to adopt in a second. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed
You may
no.
want to take up consideration in the document for the selected House legislative bond initiatives.
Yes, we do. I thought maybe we'd done that. Just, can you just withdraw that motion quickly, Mr. Vice Chairman?
Mr. Chairman, move to withdraw the motion.
We all have a list of the bond initiatives in front of us. We're just going to take those up at once. Is there a motion on the bond initiatives for $20 million?
Mr. Chairman, move to adopt all the legislative bond initiatives.
On the bond initiatives for the House, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
There's no, the ayes have it. Mr. Vice Chairman, I do have 2 additional items I need to add in. $150,000 for First Fruits Farm as a miscellaneous item. Was a bond bill so the DLS can track it. Discussion on that. I'll move that in as a miscellaneous item. $150,000 for First Fruits Farm. Is there a second? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
No, the ayes have it. And I have one last item, $100,000 for the Maryland Council for Special Equestrians, which was also a bond item, but I would like to move that in as a miscellaneous item.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed no, the ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman.
With that, I think we are now ready. Correct, Mr. Klein?
Correct.
Okay, apologize. Mr. Vice Chairman?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, move to adopt the capital budget as amended.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, raise your hand. It is unanimous. Thank you, subcommittee. So let me just take a minute, personal privilege to thank the subcommittee for your hard work. Thank our vice chairman for all of his great leadership, chair of our committee. But really in particular, I'd like to thank our DLS staff and our committee staff that has worked so hard. Michelle Lambert, our committee counsel, as well as our DLS staff who stayed up all night. The committee should know, stayed up all night working on this, getting this ready for us. We know how hard you work. We appreciate you all, obviously. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. And that goes to all the staff.
All of the staff, Mr. Klein, Ms. Haskell, Ms. Wagner, Mr. Quist, Ms. Hyde,
Kate Hayward,
Yep.
Katie Lee Cannon.
those who are not on here,
Yep.
everyone, I know how hard you all worked. So
And we'll continue to work hard for you to get this onto the floor.
thank you so much. And we will hopefully pass this out of full committee Monday and we'll be on the floor next week. So we have a voting session, so we will all log off and get on the voting session. We'll join the committee. Thank you all.